Okay, this is a video describing my first and most intense Salvia Divinorum trip. Smoked. I don't even know what potency it was. I got fucking 32 grams off this like super old head trippy guy I met. Shout out to Paul. Fucking, he gave me 32 grams of Salvia for free. Well, actually, gave me like 60 grams, but he gave me 32 grams the first time. And I went to my friend's basement and I smoked it, and we're sitting in Bob Barker's basement, and I fucking smoked it out of this huge bong and fucking uh, just took one hit. I cleared the whole bowl in one hit, and then I laid back, and I don't even remember exhaling it, but and then I don't remember what happened, but like all my nerves felt like they were like on fire, like I was like losing like the connection of feeling between nerves and like soul or whatever. And then fucking I was like on the floor, like in reality the whole time I'm just sitting there, like that's what my friends told me. They told me I was just sitting on the couch like unconscious, but I felt like I had caught on fire and then rolled onto the floor, and then I'm like burning alive on fire, and then all my friends are like standing around me looking, like I'm like screaming for help and asking them for help as I'm on fire. And then all my friends just kind of like look down at me and they're like, we can't help you, like you're dead, dude, we can't help you. And then I fucking burned to death on the floor, and then fucking like my soul shot all the way up to like, you know, the top of space or whatever, and I was like nothing. I like had died completely, and then I was like nobody, and then I was like reborn into like a red pixel, and then I was reborn into like a blue pixel, and then I was like, no, I'm not a pixel, I'm like a person. I remember that, like I knew I was like a person at one point. I still knew, like I don't really know, but like I was like, no, this isn't right. I'm not like a fucking pixel in the sky. And then I was like a person, but then I started falling. Once I became a person, I was like falling through space, and fucking it was like really scary, just like falling through space and shit. And then it wasn't right. Like I wasn't like a right person. I had to like claim my identity back. I was like screaming as I fell that like I'm this guy, I'm this person. I had to like scream my real full name, and like I had to scream like where I was, and I had to say it like a bunch of times until it was like I was like, I'm Devin Guy, sorry, I'm a drug addict, I need help with my life, blah blah blah. I'm smoking salvia in Bob Barker's basement. His real name's not Bob Barker. It's really something else, and blah 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 blah. And I started like screaming that, and then once I said like the right thing, I felt like I fucking shot into my body, and then I fucking stood up. And then I don't know if this really happened, but they said I felt like the TV or the power had gone out. And then the way that everybody was looking at me, it made it seem like that had happened too. Because when I stood up, it looked like the power went out or the TV or something. And I sat back down, and then the lights came back on, and everyone's looking at me like, what the fuck? And then I don't remember what I was saying, but like I looked over at Bob Barker, and he's sitting on down the couch, and fucking I said some shit to him and got up, and then it just like like a black screen came down. It was like and then it was like me sitting on the couch again, and it was the same thing that I just did, where I said something to Bob Barker down the couch, and he was like, it was like I wasn't doing it right. I felt like I wasn't doing the situation right, and it was like boom, and did it again, but it was like all blue, like everything in the room was like blue hued, and it was like boom, and then it was like all red hued, and it did it like a couple of times with different colors. Like I had to do the same thing, and then I fucking got up and was talking and shit, and then I fucking said what I just had said, but in reverse, and then moved backwards. I was like blah 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 blah, blah and like fucking moved backwards and shit. This is what I felt like. I don't know if any of this really happened. They said the whole time I was just sitting on the couch, and fucking and then it was like I don't remember what happened in between, but then I remember looking at I was zoomed in all the way on the wall, like as far into the wall as you could fucking zoom into the wall, and I could see like all these like little yellow people. They were like they looked like fucking the Fight the Feeling music video dude, but with round heads, and they were yellow, and fucking they were like it was like all matter in the universe was made out of these little tiny people that were like all stacked on top of each other, and like they were like holding hands, and like they were like climbing on top of each other, but like real like not aggressively or nothing, just kind of like
piled on.
Yeah, like piled on, and it just was like, now what I was looking at was the wall that was across the room, and then it kind of like zoomed out of the wall, and it was like back into me, like my regular vision zooming, and fucking. I was like, that's the greatest thing in the fucking world, and I was like freaking out. I was like, dude, that's the greatest thing in the fucking world. It's the greatest thing ever, dude. And everyone's like, what are you looking at, dude? And they like got up and they started looking at the wall where I was like pointing at and shit, and then I'm like, I started telling them how I could see everything, what I seen and shit. And I was like freak. I was like super hyper ecstatic. Like I was like, oh my god, dude, the greatest thing in the fucking world. Like I literally just seen it. And then I was like, I gotta get out of here, dude. I'm gonna go take my car and go somewhere. And they were like, I don't think you should be driving right now, blah blah blah. And I was like, I can do this. I can drive. And ever since then, I've been really really good at driving. Like before, I was like scared to drive and shit like that. Nowadays, I just drive. Like I'm like one with the fucking car, one with the vehicle and shit. But fucking, I remember I drove home to my house. I was living with my dad, and he fucking was. I was like, dude, I think I'm permanently retarded now. Like, I literally was like, dude, I think I'm permanently retarded. Like, I feel crazy right now. Like, I don't feel the same. I don't feel like how I usually feel. And I was I felt like I had no inner monologue. Everything that I thought, I would just say out loud. And it was like this and then I got invited to one of my fucking friends' house to like have dinner with her and her family and her kids and shit, dude. And I'm just sitting there like I felt like these mashed potatoes are good. They're like just no inner monologue, just saying everything out loud, but it went chill and shit. But it was like the craziest fucking thing ever. Pretty much like changed my life. Smoking Salvia. I don't know what extract it was, but it was pretty good. I had a couple other really good ones too. Most of my Salvia trips involve me dying in a fire and then like having to like save myself or like reclaim my identity or something. And that's my story. Wow,